Okay, so lately people have really been into sub 2 purchases, and as a top realtor, I get these offers all of the time. So for those who don't know what a sub 2 purchase is, it's when the purchase is subject to the existing mortgage. In other words, the seller sells the property, but the mortgage remains and the buyer takes over the payments. It's getting really popular to do this, but most people don't know that it's super risky. And by the way, I'm Mel. I teach people how to build wealth and community through creative finance. If you're into that sort of thing, hit the like and follow. Okay, so what most people don't know is most mortgages have a due on sales clause, which means that when you sell the property, the bank expects to be paid off fully at that time. And if you don't tell the bank when you sell, and if they find out that you've sold and you haven't done that, then they can call the entire balance due at once. Imagine finding out you owe hundreds of thousands of dollars in 30 days. This is the risk that investors are making. This is the risk that investors are asking sellers to take. Now, sometimes it makes sense when somebody's facing foreclosure to let the house go. It's better than going to foreclosure. So yeah, sub 2 makes sense. But the problem is this is but as more and more people do this, here's my prediction. Within a few short years, the banks are going to catch on, and what they're going to do is start auditing their files. And with the electronic filing system, it won't be hard for banks to realize what's taken place. And as banks struggle more and more to make ends meet, they're going to start doing this. And as banks struggle to make ends meet with rising inflation, they're probably going to start doing this. And since banks are losing money on those low interest loans now that rates have risen, and now that banks are losing money on those low interest loans now that interest rates have risen, they're probably going to start doing this. Not to mention the policy and regulation changes as a result of all of this, which is why I teach people about seller financing instead. It's a much safer strategy for the seller and the buyer. The good news is there's lots of ways to solve this problem that aren't sub 2 purchases. The good news is there's lots of ways to purchase a property with an underlying mortgage, and sub 2 isn't the only one. If you want to learn more about creative financing, write book in the comments and I'll share a free chapter. Have an enlightened day, my friend.